Do. Once again, this theme song is not heard in this episode. Welcome to Drawing Conclusions. I'm Josh.
I'm Jessica.
Today we're talking about episode 2 of the show Mandalorian on Disney Plus streaming.
That is accurate. That is what we were discussing.
This review will contain spoilers. We usually don't do those, but with these episodes we decided we should because why not?
Right. That's exactly right.
Anyway, so I'll start off.
Oh, okay.
So, in your face. You know, I really liked this show, this episode visually. I thought the cinematography was really pretty cool. I liked a lot of the shadows used and the lighting. I thought was really cool. It was dark without being unwatchable, which I kind of like some of that stuff. It helps add atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The fight scenes were pretty sweet, and the action set pieces were also very nice. And had some really cool stunts. And again, visually this show is top notch. I mean, it's like you could have pulled it out of a theater experience. Sound design also way cool. I like that they do explore a little bit of the little Yoda creature, whatever his race is called. I've never heard that. The little baby he picks up at the end of the first episode. Again, spoilers.
Okay, well, so let's just talk about this baby Yoda.
Yeah. Whose
name we don't know, and race, apparently. It's the second species, right? Or not second, third time we've seen the species. Besides Yoda, there was a female...
Yaddle was that character's name.
Yeah, right.
From episode 1.
But this is the first time we've seen them in baby form, and oh my goodness. Can we just talk about how Baby Yoda is the cutest thing ever?
Yeah. The cute factor definitely got ramped up with these. It looks very believable. I mean, it's a puppet and there's some CG thrown in there too, but it looks pretty convincing.
Very, very cute. Okay, so that's definitely a win for this whole entire storyline, and definitely worth checking out just to see Baby Yoda is pretty cute.
You get an appearance by the Jawas in this episode. He's coming back from his shootout at that compound, rescuing the child, or, retrieving the child.
Right.
Gets jumped by some Trandoshan bounty hunters, like the creature Bosk from Empire Strikes Back.
I didn't know what the race was. Okay,
yes, good. My nerdiness is flaring up here. Anyway, but he dispenses with these guys, and you get to see his rifle in full effect, not just zapping people and giving them the stun. He blows them away.
Right.
Gives them the disintegration.
Well, which is, in
a nod
Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Darth Vader.
No disintegrations.
And now we actually know why he said that, because that's for real.
You can't bring anyone back.
Well, that's a for real thing that the Mandalorians do, right? So.
Yeah, they blew him away. And he comes back to his ship to see that it's getting stripped.
Yes, by Jawas.
Put up on proverbial Star Wars blocks by Jawas.
Rascally, pesky Jawas.
Right. So he takes shots at him.
Yeah, basically the whole episode is like, him fighting the bounty hunters, him fighting the Jawas, and then going on a task for them as a trade so that he can get his ship parts back, and then, getting his ship back together. And there's not a lot of forward movement of the plot. It's kind of like this...
That's kind of a filler episode a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like this, just like they're really taking their time telling this story. The big thing that happens in terms of advancing the plot in this is the learning a little bit more about this Baby Yoda, creature that he has, and seeing its force powers.
Right. And
then the way that the Mandalorian is reacting to... Baby Yoda, and that's the thing that's most interesting to me about this. I did have a little bit of a problem with this episode because it did feel like a filler episode and it didn't advance the plot very much. I'm also frustrated by how short these episodes are.
That's my one complaint about this series thus far. They're like a half an hour at best.
Yeah.
30 minutes.
This one was not even 30 minutes.
Wasn't it?
No, it was like 28 or something. Like, when you put the credits in there, it's longer than that. But in terms of actual watch time.
Talk about filler.
Yeah.
Right. I agree. That's my one hang up about this show thus far. It's too short. These need to be longer.
Yeah.
Scrape up 45 minutes. Call it good. If you can stretch it to an hour, cool. But
I want it to be 45 minutes of things actually happening.
Right.
Which for me, again, this wasn't really that. We learned a little bit more each of the characters. This was definitely more like a character development episode than a plot movement episode.
You get to see the Mandalorian maybe has some concern for the child,
right?
Beyond claiming a reward.
Well, right. Well, you kind of got that impression in the first episode when he wouldn't let the IG droid, shoot it.
Right, and but at the same time, that could just be it's worth more to him alive than dead.
Right.
So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But
this
it kind of strikes me that he does have some concern with it. I mean, given his flashbacks from the first episode of seeming like his village being bombarded, destroyed, whatever,
right,
and him being a child through all that. Or it seems like that's
right.
who was.
Because basically they connected to this idea that he's a foundling, right? Like this baby Yoda, just like him, somebody that's orphaned and lost and without a people.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm sure that he's connected, in some way to that. What I notice is kind of like this conflict that exists within him, where he's trying not to care about the child. Mm-hmm. Trying not to develop any kind of relationship with him, right? Like
attachment.
Yeah, but then after the child saves him from that horned beast.
That's the other thing we learn. He goes off on his task to retrieve his parts to make trade with the Jawas. He has to go get this egg thing, and he goes into this disgusting muddy cave, which was an awesome muddy creature, by the way. This hairy, muddy rhino monster, and that was a pretty sweet action set piece. But you learn that the child is Force sensitive.
Right.
And, say child, I mean, it's 50 years old, but,
right, but
IG unit points out species age differently.
Right. Yeah, so, he saves, I almost said Boba Fett. This is not Boba Fett. He saves the Mandalorian.
He saves the Mandalorian.
From
certain doom.
And then passes out because it took too much of his strength.
Yeah, the child passes out.
Right, he's pretty young, and even using the Force at that level, right?
He levitates it so the Mandalorian can finish it.
Right, was too much for him, and so and then he's out for a long time.
Right,
and you see the Mandalorian's concern for the child. I felt like that's what we were seeing.
And he doesn't know what happens either.
Keep checking on it, making, to see if it's going to wake up. And, and clearly doesn't understand exactly what happened, and that was the Force and things like that. So I agree that, the production values on the show are obviously top-notch. I mean, it is a beautiful show to look at.
It really is.
It's the shots are well designed. Cinematography, everything's really great. The acting so far has been good, but besides how short the episodes are, my other major complaint, and I get that this is how this,
it's how it is.
Group of people are, but I really hate not seeing the Mandalorian's face. Him having his mask on all the time really makes it difficult to connect with him as a character for me personally. I can't see his facial expressions. It limits my ability to totally understand what's going on with him. Mm-hmm. And I get that that's maybe part of the mystery of these characters, right? Sure. And I get the whole mythos or whatever, behind it, but it still just frustrates me as a viewer. I mean, that's just me personally. I can understand all of that and still be but I still wish I could see his face.
Right. I get that. I don't have a problem with it because
because you have no soul and you don't care what people's facial expressions or emotions are.
That is true. I like robots. I'm just kidding. But it doesn't bother. I mean, I get it. I mean, I've read the history and the books and the games and the shows and all these things, and so I kind of understand and accept it a little more easily than someone who is not into all that stuff, like you.
Yeah,
that's you.
Yep.
But I have high hopes. I think the next episode, I hope coming out on the 22nd of November, we'll have more story. I think it probably will.
Right. Well, we know that there are all these other actors that are in this show. Right. Actors and actresses. Well, they're actors. In this show.
We're just trying to be politically correct. Come on.
No, you're not being politically correct. Don't you know that they're just female actors and male actors? There's not actors and actresses. Anyway.
Big fail by me.
Right. Anyway, so we know there's a lot more characters coming. Right? So I'm interested for him to get back to civilization and start interacting with more characters and just see where the plot goes after this.
Yes. I mean, they set up a lot of stuff in the first episode and then they're gonna have to like kind of unfold that as the series goes on.
Right.
From the flashback to this job he's been hired to do, to some of the other bounty hunters he's had run-ins with.
Right.
And yeah, there's just going to be a lot of stuff to really go through. And so that's cool.
Right.
I'm looking forward to a lot of that.
Well, and I would like to learn more about Werner Herzog, whatever his character's name is.
I don't remember it right off the top of my
head. Yeah. What his intentions are, like why he sent the Mandalorian on this quest, what he's hoping to get out of it. Because obviously, like he
right.
The little nerdy scientist-looking dude who...
The doctor.
Doctor, whatever, yeah. Who was with him did not want the creature dead or alive. Wanted the child alive, for sure.
Yes, and, as doctors, scientists, whatever, they usually want to run experiments. So what's that about?
Right. And so, but Werner Herzog's character was like, well, alive's better, but come on, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, he's being practical.
So I'm just, I'm curious to, I get the sense that they probably know that this is a Yoda,
whatever that race is.
I keep using the word creature because they're not creatures; they're like intelligent beings. I keep using that word though, but Yoda species, and that probably and force sensitive. I assume that they kind of know all of that.
Right. I do believe they have a general idea of like what they're looking for exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe not super specific.
Right. And I think it'll be interesting also throughout the series to learn more about this species and kind of their, because there's so few of them,
mm-hmm.
right, in the galaxy, what their origins are.
Yeah, what's their deal?
Where this child in particular came from. If it's 50 years old, it puts it in that timeline that people were saying right around the same age as Anakin. So,
yeah, right.
So that, could there be some interesting...
Well, sure. I mean,
dark side creation of Anakin versus this, creature of the light side of the Force, maybe
seemingly right.
Right, coming at the same time, and actually, that's how Anakin was bringing balance, was by being the counterpoint to this Yoda creature.
That's an interesting theory. I like that. But I mean, it'd be interesting. I mean, if they delve into the species, if they delve into Order 66 and the Jedi Purge, from the galaxy, where they just eliminated all information,
right.
And of course, obviously all the Jedi that they could, and force everybody else into hiding. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they go into that. I mean, I kind of hope they do, but if they don't, that's also fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am looking forward to the next episode and several episodes, and I hope they keep up the good work and make these longer.
Tell us what you think in the comments. If you've been watching The Mandalorian, let us know your reaction to it. What do you love about it? What do you hate about it? Maybe there's nothing you hate about it. What are you looking forward to in the coming episodes? What questions do you hope get answered?
Right.
And then follow us for our thoughts on episode 3 coming later at the end of the week.
Awesome. All right. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like she said, leave us comments and share. Also, check us out on Patreon. We do some podcasting on there as well.
All right. Thanks.